right, good evening, folks. We'll get together here on Wednesday evenings and talk about the early days of single sideband. A lot of vacuum tube radios are heard here. Sometimes folks come by on hybrids, and buy-sell trades are welcome if they are vintage radio related. My favorite part of the net is when somebody poses a question about a radio that he's working on, and sometimes we can come up with some answers in terms of how to resolve the problem that the guy is working with. A lot of expertise is represented here. All right, I've got about 15 calls that I've written down as earlies, but I'm not going to call them all. I'm going to give Jay and Rusty a chance to do that. Also, because I'm going to switch radios here in a little bit. I've got 3 different stations I want to put on during the course of the net. Right now, I'm on the Collins S3 line, and it's pretty well maxed out here. Let me see who I'm going to talk to first. How about Doug, WB1E? What do you say, Doug? K5LYN.
Okay, Lynn. I was just trying to tune you guys in, so I hope I'm not too far off the frequency.
You're a tiny bit higher in frequency than I am. Not a problem.
Okay, I think I got it. Anyway, good evening, everybody in the Boat Anchors Net. This is Doug over here in Bryan, and just had a little bit of rain action, so that was kind of nice. It needed to keep down the dust. I tell you, boy, it's been dry up here. So, talking to you tonight on the Swan 500. Got this thing, and it was a beauty. It didn't work, but all it took was a little bit of touch-up on the band switch with some carburetor cleaner, of all things. So it's just, I guess, a Freon base or methane benzene base cleaner. So anyway, I'm sure it's not good for the environment, but it didn't take much, and that's it. And so anyway, going out through a Henry Classic X 2K amplifier and into a flat top V-beam up at 30 feet with the ends pulled together to 60 degrees so I could get 50 ohms with only coax and no balun. So, all right, I hope we have a busy night, and I'll turn it back to net. So, Lynn, K5LYN, this is Whiskey Bravo 1 Echo in Bryan.
Very fine, Doug. The Swan is talking up a storm, as usual. Hey, I have a question for you. I looked at your QRZ.com page, and there's a very interesting picture there which says that it's a picture of you and your crew. And there's some very exotic young women in the picture. Tell us more. How about it?
Oh, no. Yeah, well, for you all that, I don't know where I found that, but I found it so interesting because of the size of the microphone cover and the big cat. So I don't know what to say. You got me, my friend. Over.
Well, now I just want you to know I pay attention, okay?
Yeah, well, I found that. Actually, that was a picture taken off the television from some commercial, and I was just laughing. I said, now that has to be the cool life, wearing a white suit and everybody else is wearing black. So anyway, Lynn, have a great evening, and it's great to hear you on all this different equipment. So 7-3.
All right, just want you to know I'm paying attention. Moving on. How about Jim? Didn't I hear you there? WJ5MS. How about it? Over to you. Well, maybe I didn't. How about Sammy? You want to talk? How about DPP? Okay, we'll maybe come back to you guys. TXW, talk to me, George.
Hello there, Lynn, and all around the net. WB5TXW here in Austin. It's getting dark. I'm not so sure if it's because of sundown or the clouds are out, and we've been getting some rain. Anyway, I'm in the usual S-Line 32, S175, S3, sure, 444, 2060, the antenna, and everything seems to be working. Oh, breakfast on Saturday, yes, over?
Yes, sir, breakfast is on.
All right, news along, we go. WB5TXW back to net.
Okay, sounding good, George. All right, let me see. Mr. Matt over there, KK5DR. How about it, K5LYN?
Well, good evening, Lynn. This is KK5DR, and it is still raining here. It's been raining here since 5 o'clock and we have accumulated 0.29 inches. And we need every bit of it. We was dry. Anyway, tonight I'm on the Yaesu Fox Tango 102, running barefoot, 175 watts out. So says the Bird digital peak reading meter. And the antenna is a double ZEP, 250 foot long, 60 feet in the air, and that's doing the rest. So that's how it is this evening from the Fat Chicken Ranch, Page Texas, KK5DR.
Sounding good, Matt. Hey, I watched the radar all day long. The storm that came through yesterday gave us half an inch. Today, I got nothing. It jumped totally over Austin. It was all around us. I got nothing at all, so I'm glad you scored today. Good to hear you. Nice signal into Austin. Okay, let's see here. KI500. Hey, Mike, you still hanging in there somewhere? K5LYN. Boy, if that's Mike, I'm barely hearing him. Maybe we better come back. Andy, KD5PUR. See you still over there?
Oh, where else would I be? K85PR. Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, what's new on your end?
Well, like you, the rain skipped right over us. All we got out of it was wind, maybe about 10 drops, and a lot of lightning.
Well, you got more than I did today. You're sounding good in Austin. Anything new on your end?
No, but I got a question about a TS820S, if somebody comes on that can answer it.
Well, why don't you pose the question? If anybody has a comment, they can come up.
Okay. It has zero power out on sideband, even when you modulate it. And it'll just be about 10 watts on CW. And that's all it does.
Anybody have any comment for Andy?
Check the filters.
I didn't hear what he asked.
Tell him the radio again, Andy.
TS820S.
And Jay said check the filters.
Yeah, I heard. I already did that. They're okay.
All right, stick with it. Keep us posted if you figure it out. All right, let me see. I want to talk to WA5MTT, who's got that Collins station up and running. Mike, bring us up to date. Over to you.
Yeah, okay. Lynn, I'm running the AWM 380 tonight, and we're lightly driving a Collins 30S1 amplifier using I normally use Electrovoid 664, but this is Electrovoid 674. So I'll copy on reduced power here out of the Collins.
Okay, a couple of thoughts. You know, I heard it when you had it on the other night, and I noticed that the audio has a little bit more of a mechanical sound to it, you know, not quite the fidelity of your S-line, but that may be just a characteristic of the radio. It doesn't imply a problem. But it seems to me you're not as loud tonight. Is everything exactly right on your antenna tonight?
Well, I've cut the mic gain way back to keep from overdriving the 30S1, so I'm eventually going to pair this thing up with a Transworld, and I'm just waiting on an attenuator pad for the Transworld before I do that. Go ahead.
Okay, you're not as loud at my house tonight as you were when you had it on the other night, and I'm thinking it was barefooted then. But that could be a variety of conditions and weather and levels of static and stuff, but all in all, it's working just fine. Over.
Okay, there's barefoot with the mic gain turned back up.
Well, can you put the amplifier back on immediately?
Yeah, but I'm afraid I'll drive I'll overdrive it. But now, well, hang on a minute.
I'm hearing some RF on his signal.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. How's that for mic gain?
Okay, it sounds okay. Talk a little bit more.
Okay. K5LYN, WA5MTT.
Yeah, I like it just fine, and it did come up, so that made significance. I think that's a very courageous effort on your part, Mike, to deal with that radio, as we've talked before. I think you've done great work.
Well, my problem with the display was a 5-volt regulator that had gone out in it, so I got that fixed and put it back on the air.
How do you like it on receive?
No, it does great on receive. It just doesn't have the the fun toys like notch filters and things like that.
Do you think it's better than the Collins S-line receivers?
I don't think necessarily.
Okay. Did they use a mechanical filter in that thing also?
Yes, but it's I can't remember exactly what kind it is, but it is a mechanical filter. Okay.
Well, we'll be curious to see what your observations are down the road a piece, but you've made great progress. Anything else for the net this evening?
No, that's it. I just wanted to check in with this thing, since it hadn't been on in a long time.
I can tell you've got your hands full, but good progress is being made. All right, I'm going to pick up KWOZ, and then I'm going to give it to Jay after that. So KWOZ, Dan, what's up? K5LYN.
Yeah, good evening, Lynn, and all the boat anchor aficionados. This is Dan, KWOZ in Houston, downtown Houston, right in the middle of the sanctuary city, I guess they call it. Anyway, I'm talking about a 27-year-old little bitty radio, but it's not a boat anchor. It's a Kenwood TS50, and I'm driving a boat anchor, which is a modified, souped up, I guess you'd say, Heathkit SB 220 amplifier. It's putting out about 1,400 watts. It'll do over legal limits because it's got that big Peter Dahl high current transformer in it. And, of course, the antenna is a 2-band bazooka up there about 35 feet, and the mic is a Shure 444D, and that's about it from here. Lots of static. I watched the radar weather, and these storms went to the east of us and to the west of us, and we were right in the pocket, didn't get a drop. That's it from here, Lynn. Thanks very much, KWOZ.
Dan, that's exactly what happened to me. The storms were east of me, west of me. Looked like it was pouring down rain in Bastrop. Didn't even sprinkle here. I couldn't believe it. By the way, the TS50 still sounds great. All of my friends in Bastrop County, where I used to live, thought that was one of the best radios ever made. So I can appreciate the value of it. Okay, Jay, I'm going to move back to 1959 on the next station, so why don't you and Rusty talk a while? KM5QS, K5LYN.
Okay, Lynn, we'll give her a shot here. Let me see, everything's still working right. It is, I believe. Okay, this is KM5QS, Jay, down here in Alice. I'm on the Kenwood TS830 and the TL922 amplifier, homebrew antenna, tuner, and like that. Let me see here. First, I'm going to go back and see if Jim is back. WJ5MS.
W5OMR. Mobile.
Okay, W5OMR, go ahead. Take his place.
Well, hello, Jay, and everybody else on the Wednesday Night Boat Anchor there. Good grief. Finally found time to get checked in. I had to be mobile and I had to get my antenna back on, but good to hear you and everybody else. Thanks for picking me up. Don't have any boat anchors that wanted to come by and say, I'm not in mobile. Well, if you want to count my butt catcher, it's probably about 40 years old. It's the original WA5UHD coil. And I'm on the Kenwood TS2000 driving the 1.2 amplifier. This is the butt catcher with the extended horizontal radiator. And that's what's going on here in Mobile, Jay. 5QS at the boat anchors, W5OMR. Mobile. I'm in Dallas.
Is he through? Yeah, I thought he did. It was pretty light. I got most of it, though. Okay, Jeff. Well, y'all be careful out there. There's all kinds of junk roaming around. So, anyway, we'll catch you next time. KE5Q, Jim, up there in Plano.
Yeah, KM5QS in the net, Kilo Echo 5 Quebec.
Jim in Plano. And tonight I'm on the KWM2 and the 30L1. And using the 8040 Ultimax. And Shure 444. And good evening to everybody on the net. Everybody's sounding good. The band's in pretty good shape. KM5QS, KE5Q. How does this thing sound?
All righty, Jim. Good deal. Sounding great. Thanks for checking in. And now we've got a stranger out here. He's been hiding from us in New Mexico for a while. So welcome back to Texas, Mike. KL7CD. Your turn.
Okay, Jay. Yeah, I'm copying everybody pretty good, even the mobile station. I can see right now, looking at my scope, I got some carrier on my signal I need to take care of. After this transmission, I'll put it on a dummy load and get it out of there. Anyway, I got back last Friday evening, and I should have checked this out before I got on the air tonight, because this rig hadn't been on the air in 2 months. And it moves around a little bit, the tube's aging or components or something, and a little bit of carrier will sneak in every now and then, but I can adjust it out. Anyway, tonight I'm on the Helicopters Twins, SX117 HT44 in transceive mode, and that runs through my amplifiers and SB220 Heath kit, and from there I go via coax to a dipole up about 25 feet, and the microphone's a Shure 444D. So I get this carrier taken care of, and maybe check back in a little later. Back to you, KM5QS, KL7CD.
Okay, Mike, good deal. Sounded fine here, but then I can't see your carrier on this 830, so anyway. All right, Mike, we'll talk to you later. Whiskey 5, India Sierra. How about you, Doug?
Yeah, thank you, Jay. And all the boat anchor net. I'm running TR4 tonight and driving the L1500. I got to speak sort of quiet or it gets carried away. But double bazooka of about 40 foot, and you're coming in good. Appreciate you picking me up. I hadn't got anything much else to comment on. I'll just listen so you can get as many stations on you can, Jay. Appreciate it. W5IS.
All righty, Doug. No problem. Sounding good as usual. Let's see. I'm going to give Jim one more try. Whiskey J5MS. Unless you're covered up with thunderstorms, go ahead. Well, he may have had to disconnect or something. Either that or he got hungry. Rusty, why don't you see what you can do with it for a little bit?
Okay, Jay. I don't have a list, so I'll just, this is WK5R, located up here halfway between Dallas and Tyler. I'm running the usual Yaesu FT102, and I'm using the hand mic, and something's wrong with my cable going to my Yaesu cable that I built up going to my console. It ain't working. Keys up, but no audio, so we're using a hand mic. And we're driving the GS35B homebrew amp into a homebrew fan dipole up about 50 feet. That's just the station here. So with that, who else do we have out there for the Boat Anchors Unlimited net? Come now.
KB5SQG.
Okay, I didn't get the whole call sign. There was something, I think it was KC5 and the F something with a J in it. Go ahead.
It's kilowatt. Bravo 5 Sierra Quebec Golf. Bob.
Okay, go ahead, Bob.
Good evening, all members here on the Boat Anchor Net. I'm running a CS820S with an off-center fed dipole antenna and an MC50 microphone tonight. And it's good to get back on the air tonight anyway. It's nice and cool. I see that we got thunder showers coming our way in Granbury, Texas, where I am located at. Otherwise, when the sun comes down
at nighttime it's on the side of the trailer where this room is at, and it gets awfully warm. So I'm just glad to get back to the room tonight in nice and cool weather. So but I just jump on here and say hello to everybody. It's been a while. KB5 SQG.
Okay, the 820 is sounding fine there. Okay, who else for the Boat Anchor Unlimited net come down?
K0, Sierra Echo Delta.
Okay, go ahead, Steve.
Well, good afternoon, or good evening, Rusty, to all the boat anchors. K0, SCD, Steve, and Tyler. Tonight on the trusty old Kenwood 520 and 30L1, a dipole up 40-odd feet. And that's about it from over here, just counting the days off to Belton. Hope to see everybody down there. Back to you, Rusty. K0, SCD.
All right, you got 520 sounding fine as usual there, Steve. Look forward to seeing you down there. All right, who else for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now.
K5AXW. Hotel Norway, India. Over.
Okay, Steve in the Hill Country, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Rusty. It's been a while. WD5HNI, how copy tonight there, over?
I copy you good there, Steve. Go ahead.
All right, very good. Well, good evening, everybody. Name here is Steve. We're located over here in the Texas Hill Country, pretty close to the Pedernales River, and tonight we're running the Collins S line. This is a 75S3 line. It's been a while since we fired it up, so we'd blow the dust off and run the roaches out, and we're on the air. So anyway, not much else happening here. It's kind of dry. We had rain dance around the area here, and it just teased us, but we didn't get a drop. So that's about the rundown here. Rusty running a full-wave loop, feeding with open feeder line, and that's about the rundown. Back to that.
Okay, Steve. Yeah. The Collins S3 station there sounds good. All right. I heard a couple of other stations in there. Y'all try it again. I'll see if I can dig you out of there.
K5AXW.
Okay, K5AXW. Go ahead.
Good evening. This is K5AXW Bill on the east side of Dripping Springs. Running a National NCX3. Getting a little help from the FL2100 into OCF antenna out in the yard somewhere. That's the story here. You're coming in great. 20 over, 30 over. Good night tonight. K5AXW, back to net.
Okay, Bill. The National and the Yaesu FL2100 there are sounding good. Okay, there was another station way down in there, and the other net controllers listen close. If I can't get him, see if one of y'all can. Other station, try it again. Okay, I heard something with a kilo and a 5 in it. Did anybody else hear him better than me?
There's a Yankee X-ray Papa, but he sounds very distorted.
Okay, Yankee X-ray Papa, go ahead. Okay, I think he finished up there. I could hear him, but I couldn't understand what he was saying there. Like he's a little overmodulated or fuzzy or something. Not strong enough for me to really criticize there because I can't tell what he's got there. Steve, was that you that heard him a while ago?
Yes, he must be close to me. He's running a vertical antenna, wide speed. If you have a mic gain on the radio, you can throttle it back just a little bit. You're borderline going into the source there, my friend. Turn it down, bump it down just a little bit more. Sounding a little bit better. I'm copying you a little bit better. Rusty, are you hearing him now?
I'm hearing him a little bit, but
it's hard to understand what he's saying. Is that, he's not up in Kansas, is he?
So where are you located, sir? Rusty's over there underneath my antenna somewhere over here, but anyway, he's locally here, over.
Oh, Roger. Well, I'm sorry I couldn't copy him there. I don't know why. If he's on a vertical, that might be why. It might be a little close for a vertical. Yeah, if he's running barefooted too, that's not a real good night for picking up a lower powered stations. Okay. Anyway, thank you for checking in there. Sorry we couldn't pull you out of there very good there. Steve, thanks for the relay there. Okay, I'll take one or two more, and then I'll see if Lynn's ready with his second rig there. Who else for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now.
Kilo Baker 5, Z Papa Echo.
ZPE, go ahead.
Good afternoon. This is Steve here, located just south of Dallas here, 7 Points, Texas, on Cedar Creek Lake Reservoir. We're running an old Tech Omni C here. A little electro voice desk mine. Got a Alpha Delta up about 40 feet in the air, and everybody's sounding good, so that's the station here. I'll turn it back to net, KB5ZPE.
Okay, yeah, the old Tech is sounding good there, Steve, my neighbor to the south there. All right, I'll look for one more, and then I'm going to see if Lynn has got everything wired up there. Who else for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now.
K5GIT.
No, K5JIC, I think it is. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Kilowatt 5 Golf India Tango, and I'm located near Kerrville, Texas. My name is Ron.
Okay, Ron. What kind of station are you running tonight?
This is a Drake Sea Line, and I'm running into a SB220, and with a full wave loop antenna.
Roger, Roger. Well, the Drake Sea Line sounds good there. Okay. Let me see. Lynn, are you about ready with your second rig?
Well, what do you think, Rusty? Does it sound okay? Should I talk?
Yeah, go ahead. K5LYN, WK5R. Tell us what it is.
Okay, so I heard somebody talking there. We'll get it all figured out here in a minute. All right, this is K5LYN returning. My name's Lynn. I'm in Austin. And hello to K5GIT there, Ron, an old friend. What the deal is, this station I've assembled together out of a number of vintage pieces. The station begins in 1948 with a Collins 310B exciter. That was basically a VFO that they used for their 1940s AM transmitters. And it's interesting because it's a PTO, a permeability tuned oscillator, which was far more stable than the VFOs of the time. And I thought, well, why don't I pair that up with a Heathkit single sideband adapter from the year 1959. That's a rather primitive exciter, by the way. And I'll say that in 1959, except for Collins, most of the sideband rigs were not totally free of carrier or of upper sideband. You might think of this station as the radio equivalent of a 1959 Studebaker. So if it's not exactly right on your flex, you'll know why. It puts out about 2 watts, and I'm using that to excite the Heathkit DX60 novice CW rig, also about that same era. And that's putting about 30, 40 watts into my Collins 30L1. And we'll make the best of it under very primitive circumstances here. As the net's winding down, I want to try to talk to KG7TR on a radio that he built that I have here in the shack, and we'll let that go for just a little while the skip gets longer. But let me check in with him before I take some more check-ins. Hey, KG7TR, Mike, can you hear me on this station, K5LYN?
Oh, yeah, Len, I copy you fine, but I'm supposed to be on the SDR radio.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll forge ahead here. I'll take a few check-ins on this, and we'll go around the table again. Then I'll come back on the Cheap and Easy SSB. And guys, that's a radio from 1956 QST that Mike built that I've been getting up and running here on 80 meters. All right. Who else for the Boat Anchors Unlimited this evening? K5LYN calling and listening.
Whiskey Alpha 5, Edward David X-Ray.
EDX. Byron, talk to us.
Yeah, good evening, Lynn, and everybody on the net. This is Byron in beautiful Bluffdale, Texas. Tonight I'm back on the Kenwood TS820S. I am driving a pair of shoes, though. This old Chamberlain HXL1 from Belton. Lynn, you'll remember that. So it has 4 811As, standard old linear. Into the old inverted V, MC50 mic. Got a question for the net tonight. I've been working on a Yaesu over here. An old Yaesu boat anchor that has low output and the receive is kind of low. I think it just needs alignment, but all the coil plugs are stuck. I don't think it's ever been tuned. And it's got all those coils are in cardboard forms, and well, they're all stuck. I don't know if they glued them in or somebody glued them in or what, but I just wondered if anybody's had any luck loosening up those carbon slugs in cardboard coil forms and how they did it. I don't want to put too much force on those slugs, you know, and crack them, so thought I'd get some ideas before I start doing any brute force stuff. Hi. So, that's all I have this evening. We got that little thunder shower, a sea breeze shower came through mid-afternoon and kind of cool things off here in Bluffdale. I consider myself one of the lucky ones. Made the air conditioner go off for 10 minutes for a change. So back to you, Lynn. I wonder how your configuration is sounding good. Sounding just like yourself, anyway. And I just wonder how I'm doing into Austin tonight. K5LYN, WA5EDX.
Okay, Byron, you're doing great. Very nice signal into Austin, and thank you for the reports on this equivalent of a 1959 Studebaker that I've got on the air here this evening. Every time I quit talking, I see it's got a little bit more carrier than it had the last time, so I'll adjust that here in just a minute. Hey, can anybody tell Byron how to loosen slugs that are stuck in slug-tuned coils? I've worked on Collins where people had that problem and they broke the slug-tuned coil trying to get them to free up. Anybody offer any suggestions on what to do about that?
Comment.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Lynn. I've run into the carbon slugs being froze inside the cardboard form quite a bit on older Helicrafters rigs. The SX-117 in particular, and the SX-101. And what I have found is if it's difficult to get out, the carbon slug is probably already cracked. And so when you put a tuning implement in there to try to tune it in or out, it goes into a bind. And if it's not cracked, it'll move pretty easy. I've never seen them stuck because of age or anything like that. I would have 3 or 4 of them that would not turn in an SX-115, and if you put enough pressure on them, you'd just tear the cardboard up. And I read somewhere in QST or something like that, hints and cakes, about how to do that. Seemed like they put some epoxy in there, very small amount with like a toothpick or something. And what that did was the carbon slug would epoxy itself back together, and when they're cracked like that, you try to turn them, they bind. If you can kind of visualize that, that's been my experience.
Well, I have heard somebody say that sometimes if you heat them up a little bit, they'll come free. That's good to know, Mike. Anybody else have any comments about how to free up a slug-tuned coil that is stuck?
Have an idea.
Go ahead, Jay.
The heat method, Lynn, also, KW.
Okay, there were two of you. Was it Jay the first one, then Dan?
Yeah, Dan, you go ahead. You might have a better idea than I do.
No, I was just going to say on the Heathkit ones, I've used a hair dryer, not a heat gun, but a hair dryer in low position a little bit, just to, warm up that tube a little bit and try and adjust it as it's warming up. And I'd say half the time they'll come loose. Otherwise, they'll break like Mike said.
Okay. 1 drop in each form of WD-40. And walk away for about 30 minutes and let that cardboard soak that up. And if that doesn't cut it loose, then get Dan's hair dryer out and heat her up.
Okay. Byron, do you copy all that?
Yeah, sure thing. I hadn't thought of the heat idea. I don't think these are cracked slugs. I hadn't looked at anything with a magnifying glass, but I tried adjusting like all of them, and none of them would turn, so that I don't think they're all cracked, so I just think they might have been glued somehow. But I'll try the WD-40 thing, and I hadn't thought about the heat thing, so I'll try the hair dryer trick too. The only thing I could find online about it, somebody in some QRZ post or something said something about using a diluting acetone and using that to loosen any solvent. So that's another trick I may try. But thanks for the ideas, and I'll try them all, and if I have any luck, I'll report next week. Thank you, Lynn, WA5EDX.
The reason I said WD-40 is because it's dielectric, and it will eventually dry up out of the rig, so you don't have to worry about residue or anything. KM5QS.
All right. Any other comments about Byron's problem? Go ahead, Andy.
Sometimes they have to put them in a freezer for several hours and shrink the core.
All right, Byron, you've had recommendations to freeze it on one hand, heat it on the other. Byron, good luck. Keep us posted, will you?
You bet.
All right. Let's move on. Anybody else want to talk to me about boat anchors before we pass it around to one of the other net controls, K5LYN?
Kilo Charlie 5 Lima.
KC5L, pick it up.
Hey, good evening, Lynn, and the Boat Anchors Net. This is Tom in San Antonio, and tonight we're running the usual. You're listening to me on a Central Electronics 200V, running a original Lollipop microphone, Halstar balance line tuner, going to a 80-meter doublet up about 15 feet, and I'm listening to you on an R390A. So anyhow, that's about it here. We did get an inch of rain. Very happy about that. Haven't had a good rain in a long time. So that's it for me. Back to net. Lynn, your Studebaker sounds great here in San Antonio. Really has a nice clean audio signal. Back to net, KC5L.
All right. All right, good to hear you, and that Central Electronics 200V is sounding good as it always does, Tom. So good to hear you this evening. Okay, Jay, I'm going to pass it on around to you and then to Rusty, and then when I come back, assuming I can get all my ducks in a row here, I'm going to be on a cheap and easy SSB built by KG72R, who's here on the frequency with us. And this is early in the game. I may not have everything quite right when I try it, and I won't have as much power either. But, Jay, pick it up, and I'll shuffle some stuff around here. KM5QS, K5LYN.
Okay, Lynn. We'll give her another shot. There's bound to be some. Let me run back and try a few that might have been out of pocket. Whiskey WJ5MS. Jim, are you back? Maybe not. Kilo India 5 Oscar. Are you back, Mike? Okay. Alrighty. This is Boat Anchors Unlimited, looking for check-ins. Anybody else out there we hadn't talked to, go ahead.
Alpha Delta Charlie.
Hello, Rick. Go right ahead.
Yeah, Whiskey Delta 5, Alpha Delta Charlie. Rick in Harlingen on the TS820, TL922 amp, Shure 444 mic, and antenna up about 30 feet. And about that stuck slug thing, it probably has wax in it. I've run into that quite a bit on some of the older rigs. And heating that wax up, or if you can find some, what dissolves wax really good, but you can't get it anymore, is carbon tetrachloride. A drop of that would do it. But either heating it with a heat gun or a pencil tip soldering iron just right in the center of the slug, it'll dissipate the heat and should melt that wax.
That's a good idea. Byron, did you hear that? Well, I'll remember that in case I hear him, but it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I've used it. I've had to do that quite a bit when I worked on regular radios, especially old CBs and things like that, but that was years ago.
Yes, sir. I'm familiar with that concept.
All righty, well, 7-3, and you sound good tonight, and so does Lynn on that radio he was on.
All righty, well, thank you, sir. I'm on the 830 and a 922 myself, so Kenwood to Kenwood, what could be better than that?
Yeah, I've got the grandpa, and you've got the younger one.
Well, whatever we got to do. Thank you, Rick. We'll see you next time. All right, folks, who else for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now, please.
Canyon copy KC7TR.
KC7TR, go ahead, sir.
Okay, thanks. It's Mike right over here in Cholo, Arizona, standing by to talk to Lynn when he gets the Keep It Easy on the air. Got good copy on you. Not too many other stations are very strong. I don't know your name and call sign. I haven't stepped into this bed here, but it's KCR, Cholo, Arizona, 100% homebrew radio station here. My real McCoy 80-meter transmitter. And what I call a 75 FCB, the homebrew receiver, and a homebrew pair of 813s over there at Millennium, and using a great microphone, and the antenna's a 66 foot long run. So go ahead, that's control. This is KC7TR.
Okay, Mike. Well, you're making it pretty good. All that conglomeration of equipment there, it's working for you just fine.
Okay, thanks. So what's your caller name, please?
Oh, I'm sorry about it. This is JKM5QS, Kilo Mike 5, Quebec Sierra.
Okay, KM5QS, and is the first name Jay?
Yes, sir. The name is Jay, Juliet Alpha Yankee.
Okay, that's real fine, and I'll let you carry on, and I'll just stand by to see if Lynn can get that old radio custom. We've been corresponding for weeks now, trying to get that thing to work on 80 meters, so I'm anxious to see how it does. Back to you, KM5QS, KC7TR. I am back, Jay.
Are you back? You got it ready? Well, go ahead, Lynn, or unless Rusty, do you want to take it first?
For a second.
I'm sorry, say again? Sure, go ahead.
KC7TR, Mike. You got me out there at all, because I know why I am. Well, about the best I could do is the SCR radio. I can't copy it all directly. Okay, well, anyway, I'm on it. I'll let the other guys have been on it. During the first radio, we'll get all the comments from other people about how it sounds. Well, I could barely copy it, so I can't really comment. I don't know, you can propagation guide, or you got probably got less power going into the antenna. Go ahead. Yeah, it may get better. Jay, text the next to that. Y'all pass it all around. Go ahead, Jay.
Okay, Lynn. We'll do that. Let me see. What was oh yeah, is there anyone else we haven't talked to yet? Come now, please.
KG5KMN, portable.
KC5 question mark?
Kilo Golf 5, Kilo Mike November.
Okay. KC5 Kilo Mike November. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, the call sign is Kilo Golf 5. Kilo Golf 5. Name is Lewis, and I'm portable in Lakey, Texas. Over.
Okay, Lewis. KG5. Sorry about that. Had a little bit of static crashes tonight, and you're portable, you're mobile, so or portable, or yeah. All right. Where are you located?
I'm in Lakey, Texas. Lakey, near San Antonio. Over.
Oh, you're over around Lakey? Okay, I know exactly where that is. They're on Highway 83.
Yes, 83 and Highway 337. That's the intersection.
All right. Well, you're making it down to Alice, Texas. That's where I'm at, and like that. So, very good.
You're 5-9 plus here into Lakey. Very good signal. We had a good rain this afternoon. Beautiful signal. And it stopped now, but you're coming in very good into Lakey. Over.
Okay, I've got some static crashes, so it's kind of in and out. But at any rate, what I could hear sounded pretty good. I'll probably need to move along here and let Rusty take another shot and see if he can pick some more up from where he's at. So thanks for checking in, Lewis.
Thank you, 73. I'll be listening.
All right, KM5QS2WK5R. Rusty, your turn.
Okay, Jay. KM5QS2WK5R. I switched radios. I'm not on a boat anchor anymore, but I switched to something that I could, with all the noise, I needed to hear a little bit better. So I'm on a Kenwood TS590 now. The rest of the station's still the same. So, anyway, who else out there for boat anchors unlimited? Come now. Yeah, we may have run the gambit on it, Jay. Anybody else out there that we hadn't talked to yet who wants to talk boat anchors, come now. Well, sounds like I struck out. K5LYN, WK5R. You ready again, Lynn?
See, do I sound like I'm about right? Rusty, tell me what you think about the sound of this radio. I could give it a little bit more audio, but I think I've about maxed out. What do you think?
I barely can't hear Lynn. Is the band going crazy, Jay?
Nope, he's just pretty light. Lynn, it sounds pretty good. You could use a little more audio, maybe, unless it distorts it.
All right, let's go up. Let me. I can make the meter pick up a little bit. Did this do it any good?
Oh, that sounds much better. Can you hear him now, Rusty?
He's still pretty light up here. He might be barefooted though.
No, I'm not barefooted. But we're trying to figure out how to get a little bit more drive out of this. I turned it up even more. Did this help any, Rusty?
Okay, I got you now. I had the darn RF gain turned back too far. Go ahead.
Okay, well I've got about 150 watts going out here, maybe 175, something like that. But what do you think about the quality of it?
It sounds good. I'm listening to you. I'm listening at about 3.4K wide on this 590 right now. It sounds good.
All right, let me try KG7TR. Mike, he's listening to us on an SDR somewhere. And Mike, what do you can you tell that I'm in here? KG7TR, K5LYN.
Yeah, well, I could copy you. I'm on the SDR. Well, a little light, and that sound a little cracky, so I maybe hit this kind of hard. But when you first came on, it wasn't sounding good. So anyway, I think it's working fine. I really don't know where the problem is with the power.
watts going there was cheap and easy since I know you can get 2 watts out of it. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm directly into the 30L1. I'm directly into the 30L1 right now. So let's get together on email and we'll pick our brains a little bit But I'm glad you got to be here, Mike, and you did excellent work on this radio. People like the sound of it. Back to you for one more, Mike, and then I'll pass it around. Over.
Hey, Lynn. Okay, thanks. I don't know if you heard earlier, but I'm on the other side, the radio that was in the May issue of electric radio. So I hope it sounded okay. I didn't get into the frequency, so I might be off a little bit. You know, it's like a one-arm paper hanger sighted with the SDR radio on the computer, and then zero beat the other radio. The receiver is the 75 FPV that was in electric radio last year. And that was up there, they started using the 8500 watts. So hopefully everything sounds good over on your end. And then to final K5LYN, KG7CR.
Okay, Mike is the absolute authority on homebrew radios. And great to hear you, Mike. We'll get together on email. All right, somebody said, hey, Lynn, a minute ago. Who was that? K5LYN.
K5LYN W5ISM. I'm cheating. I'm off on my flex now. And therefore, you turned it down. You had too much. You were pretty wide. And then you dropped down and it was weak, but it's sounding good and staying about 3 kcs right now, Lynn. Looks good.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was probably too much, so I pulled it down. But we still got to get this figured out. It's not quite right. Thank you, Doug, for the report. Over.
You're right. I got the same problem with my Drake, trying to keep it tamed down, but just carry on. You're sounding good now, Lynn. I think the band's dropping off some, but anyway, 53, W5 area.
Okay, Doug. All right, Jay, I'm going to give it back to you. I'm going to shut this down. I'll come back out on something else here in a minute, and y'all can wind it up. KM5QS, K5LYN.
Okay, Lynn, one comment before you turn it off. It's got better audio than most Drakes.
Yeah, everybody likes the way it sounds. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know I just made some people. Well, anyway, sorry, fellas. KM5QS Boat Anchors Unlimited. Rusty, no, we already did that. Anyone we've missed out there, come now, please. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say thank you to everyone that checked in. Well, it sounds like we've about run out. And I'm going to say my 73s and pass it back to Rusty, and he can do the same thing, and pass it back to Lynn, and then we'll probably be done. So, good evening, everybody. Enjoyed the net this evening. It's pretty good in spite of the lightning crashes, so y'all be proud of yourselves. KM5QS, looking forward to seeing y'all at Belton about 3 weeks. Back to you, Rusty. KM5QS, WK5R.
All right, Trey. This is WK5R. Yep. Appreciate everybody checking in, and take my 73 around. I'm going to hang around a little while. I got about another 30 minutes or so before I have to get horizontally polarized. This 5 o'clock comes early in the morning. So with that, I'll pass it back to Lynn and let him tie a ribbon on it. K5LYN, WK5R.